Well, last you saw me, I finished that window there, and now I finished the other window as well. And I just got started on the door, well, actually finishing up that window, and I realized, there's no way I've got enough of that Vicor to go around the door, so I had Brady pick some up while he was in town and bring it out. I was able to get one side done there, and now I'm getting onto the door. I went and picked up all the stuff that the door stuff down here. So this is all reclaimed materials that we got from a house, the door and a bunch of trim and everything else. And so I'm going to use that. But I made a mistake. And since I want to be honest with you guys, thought I'd show you what mistake I made. It's going to make me do a little reconstructing, but I think it's going to work out. So I grabbed the plate that goes on the bottom. I stuck it in there just to kind of check how it fits and all. And I realized, look at all that space I've got on each side. I realized, wait a minute, this can't be a 36-inch door. So I measured it, and sure enough, it's a 32-inch door, not a 36-inch door. I thought it was 36. I framed for a 36. I did figure that I can still make this work. I'm just going to have to frame this out a little bit more. I'm going to add a 2x8 on the sides here and here. I'm going to have to pull that Vicor off and then attach that after I've got the new framework in. I was a little bit worried about the trim because I wanted to make sure my trim is covering these edges and adding new framing in here, and plus the gap that'll be between the door and then a little bit of overlap on the door. I still will be able to get over onto the sheathing there. The bad thing is that all my nail holes are going to be exposed, but when they're painted, you'll hardly even notice them. So let's get on that. We're going to reframe this door and then get to installing the door. All right, got to take the tape off first. Now I just need to tape it again. Or maybe I should secure it in. Not with my hammer, with my screw gun. Now I can tape it.
Recently, Clint said that I need to come up with ways to make our videos better, to make them more interesting, to improve the quality of them. And there's been one way that I've suggested from pretty much the beginning that Clint just refuses to do. So I don't know why I would come up with new ways to make the videos better when Clint simply refuses to turn his microphone on, to put it near his face and point it at his mouth so that we can have good continuous audio, so that he could explain what he's doing with the doors right here, because he tries to, but that audio is pretty much non-existent. You get little bits picked up by the phone, but it's mostly just wind. So, there's a very simple step we can take to make these videos better. I wish he would do it.
Okay, Brady's going to make fun of me now because, once again, I didn't have the mics on when I was doing that whole last part. So you're not going to be able to hear anything I said, I'm sure. But I've got the door in, it's plumb, level, whatever. And I've got shims in to secure it so that it's in that proper position. Now I'm going to grab the door, I'm going to hang the door, and then I'm going to check all the way around from the other side, check the reveal, the little gap between the door and the frame itself, and make sure everything's lining up just right so I can secure the other side, plumb and everything else, so that then the door will open and close as it should. So that's the next step. And this door is stinking heavy. Got to get that higher. Oh, there we go. I can get that started. Okay. So it's swinging there. Well, let's see how it closes all the way. Not too bad. Not too bad. Because the door's very heavy, it's pulling on it right now because it's hanging on it. So it's kind of pulling this side out a little bit, which is catching it up on here. But when I secure that all up, it's going to be pretty dang good. So I think what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and plumb this, put blocking in, shims and stuff to secure this side, nail that in, and then I think it'll be good to go. Okay, I've got the door all in securely, snug as a bug in a rug, and it opens and closes. Well, boom. Yeah, perfectly. However, I wish I could say that everything was beautiful and even and sweet and clean, but it's not exactly. The next thing I got to deal with is these gaps right here. So this is set back, the frame is set back from the sheathing, and it's also got a gap between the frame over this direction to the sheathing. So I need to fill that. So I'm going to have to cut a custom piece to fill that gap with. Okay, I've got my jamb extensions built. They seem to fit in nicely. I have to secure them down now. Then I just have to trim it out and caulk it, and it'll be ready. This is what you got to deal with when you're using reclaimed lumber materials. Kind of having to clean things up all the time. So now that I've got the trim done on the door, we're doing the windows. Still going to use that same trim that we recycled from a demo that we did. So we're going to use that trim around here. But at the bottom, I want to use I want to do a sill there at the bottom. And so I'm going to use a 2x4. So the 2x4 will go underneath. And I'm going to put a little bevel on it so that water will want to drip off of it. I don't want to take any chances of it pooling underneath. So I'm going to use a table saw, put a little bevel on that, attach that in. It's going to be a little wider than the trim that comes down. So the trim will come down and this will be a little bit wider than that. And then I haven't decided yet how I'm finishing off the bottom. If I'm just going to use the same trim that we've been using for the batten underneath, I'm thinking about doing that. We'll see how it turns out. "36 3 1/4. So two of those is 7 inches. 36 plus 7 inches, 43. So Then I want to go out 2 inches further on each side, or just an inch. Actually, we'll just go an inch out further on each side. So 43 plus 2, 45 inches long is how I want my sill. So I shaved a little bit off that. You can see the bevel right there. I think I want to take just a little bit more off that, so I'll slide the rail over maybe another, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch and give that another try. So I took another 1/8 of an inch off. This will work. It'll fit underneath the sill or underneath the window. Give a nice little beveled edge there for water to run off. That's a good depth. I think I like that. All in all, that will work out well. Okay, so unfortunately the battery ran out on me, so I didn't get to film any more of those window trim. I was hustling to try to get it all done this evening so that I can paint in the morning. It's supposed to be calm. In fact, it was windy all day and the wind has already died down. It's supposed to be like this in the morning, which is perfect. However, I don't think I'm going to get it done and ready to paint first thing in the morning. I've got all the trim done here, but I don't have enough batten strips. So I went ahead and stripped down, or ripped down, I should say, 2 more of those big boards. That's why I'm covered in sawdust. But I'm also without the nail gun because Brady's using it on another job of a neighbor's. So he's bringing it back. As soon as he's done, then I'll be able to get this stuff put back together. As soon as I get all the trim on, finish caulking, it'll be ready to paint. So even if I have to finish a little bit in the morning, still I think we should be able to paint tomorrow, which is super exciting. So I think for right now, I'll call that good for today, and I'll see you in the morning.